What is going on, guys? Welcome to another match review with me, Dan. I'm also joined today by Kyle.
Yes, what's up, everyone?
It's been a long time, hasn't it, since you've joined me on some videos, and you've
Yes, mate.
just like waiting for a buzz. You're on too now. So,
I know, mate. Love it.
so basically, we did a watch along of this FA Cup fixture against Shrewsbury, and Wolves won 6-1 today. Very confident display, showing some quality, some much needed quality that I was saying to Kai, like, I'm kind of annoyed in a way that we've not seen this level of quality. But then you look at the opposition, you look at where they are in their, in their table, and yeah, okay, the impetus is on Wolves to win, you know, and people will say, oh, they've found their levels and stuff, and to some degree, you're probably right, but you've still got to beat who's in front of you, and I've seen some upsets in my time. I was saying to Kai in the watch along, the Grimsby win against United comes to mind. You've got to beat who's in
Right, look at
front of you.
Macclesfield. Yeah, Macclesfield, Crystal Palace today. Exactly
Exactly.
the same.
You've got to beat who's in front of you. And sometimes beating who's in front of you is one thing, destroying them and showing that you deserve to be in a higher league than them is another thing. And I'm not going to be a knob today against the people of Shrewsbury because it's a good showing at Molineux. I, it's one of them where we've absolutely dominated them. So in some regard, you kind of feel sorry for him in a way. But they can concentrate on the league now anyway, and they can, you know. But yeah, so Wolves won 6-1. Some very good goals, some really, really good displays today in the midfield. I was really, really happy of, even though, Andre and João Gomez were now in the midfield and Mane was on the bench, there was still a massive, massive balance, which is, I said in every review since we've started showing a bit of a purple patch, Wolves' balance in the midfield this season has been laughable. Like, honestly, that I couldn't think of a midfield battle in which we've won up until this purple patch, and it really is down to how Wolves have lined up. We've lined up now into we'll talk about the formation in just a sec. What was your take on the game in general while I set up the formation?
So for me, I think you're right in what you said. We dominate from start to finish. You can see some of the stats here, like like you say, we'll go through them in a minute. But having 68% possession to their 32, it's like it's second to none, really. We kept the ball well. Yeah, okay, a couple of loose passes in the Premier League. You probably have those a bit more of effect on you. But it's just, I don't know. For us, it looked easy,
Hmm.
and I think the scoreline reflects that. We saw some brilliant performances individually, but for me, the main thing today was the team togetherness and the smiles going round and
Hmm.
seeing that we looked like a confident team again, which
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen for a massive portion of this season.
And that's the
Yeah,
key word, isn't it? The key word in this is we've seen confidence from players who have been lacking in
yeah,
abundance.
massively.
Strand Larsen being the key one, really. Gets a hat
Mm,
trick today, gets an assist. Perfect performance, pretty much, from him. There was parts of his game that he was growing into it a little bit. After his goal, I thought he showed a bit more
mm.
quality, a bit more class. Especially after the second goal, seemed to sort of think, okay, no, it's not a fluke. I've not just got a goal. I'm actually showing a bit of a good performance here, and this the fans were responding to it. And you
Yeah,
said,
we were
didn't?
saying on the watch long, weren't we? Like, I think Strand Larsen and a couple of others in the squad, they're the type of player where if you do something right early on, then they'll kick on and have a great game.
Mm,
But then again, on the flip side of that, they do a couple of wrong passes or a couple of things that don't quite go their way, and it'll destroy them.
yeah,
So I think getting that goal within the ninth minute helped massively, and it was a great finish. I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute, but
mm,
yeah, it was a great goal, and I think he needed that today as well. Like, you know, he's had a really rough season. He's been overlooked since Tolu came in. You know, there's a big like comparison going on because they're a similar sort of player.
Mm.
Who do you pick for your starting 11 in the Premier League? Do you pick Strand Larsen or do you pick Tolu Rokodari?
Mm.
But you know, it's put question marks again there today, and you know what? Fair play to him because he has gone out and had a very near perfect performance. And
Yeah.
he came off, smile on his face, right until he went into the dressing room. So, yeah, fair play to him.
Nice.
Congratulations.
So let's talk about how we lined up. So Johnston in goal, Krejci, Santi Bueno, and Doherty. Doherty back in the side. Good to see. Muller Wolf, which was nice. Tachuya on the other side as well. Andre, João Gomez, and Arias is a midfield three. And Strand Larsen and Hwang playing as our strikers, with Hwang kind of cutting in to sort of match what Arias was doing on that one side as well. With kind of interesting this formation, isn't it, Kai? Because this 3-5-2 is very fluent, isn't it? There's a lot of fluidity to it, because a lot of the times what's happening is we're getting that strength of your two DMs. This time it was Andre and João Gomez, and in other games it's been Arias and João Gomez. But either way, your two DMs basically line up as a three.
Yeah.
You know, to give you a bit of solidity. But then in an attacking way, they sort of drop back and allow, you know, Arias and Andre on this, Arias and Hwang on this occasion, to sort of run forward behind Strand Larsen and create almost an attacking arrow, almost like as a formation, like we sort of attack all together, running forward as like an arrow, which is very, very, very good. And we saw it consistently in this game. Every single time, the ball was passed really well from the back, by a Krejci most of the time. To be fair, he was finding those passes that was stitching the midfield completely, and it was just a nuisance really for Shrewsbury. But yeah, that's how we lined up. We'll talk about individual performances at the end. Let's go into these goals then. So the first Strand Larsen goal, Kai, how has this come about?
Yeah, so goal obviously inside 9th minute. I think the play up to the goal was brilliant. You know, we come out from the back. Krejci gets the ball, sees Hwang making this diagonal run in between their right centre half and their right back. And fair play to Hwang, it's the perfect run, what you need as a striker playing off a target man. Strand Larsen also recognises that run from Hwang. Hwang then gets closed down by the keeper, plays a lovely flick over the keeper. It's a bobbling ball into Strand Larsen, who's already in front of his man, and then he plays a lovely little, almost like a Cruyff flick, into pretty much an empty net as the defender's backpedaling. So it's a great team goal, and it just showed how simple it was to unlock Shrewsbury, and the fact we recognised that so on early in the game, I think, helped us massively. But credit to those two up front, because that was clearly something they'd worked on off the training ground, where, you know, Strand Larsen's more of that target forward, or even Tolu Rokodari when he's on the target forward, and then you've got the likes of Arias and Hwang running off him. So yeah, great goal, nice and early, set us up for a good afternoon.
Yeah, nice. And then I think I'd add to that is just the fact that it was nice to see Strand Larsen getting into an attacking position. It was nice to see Hwang again, very, very reminiscent of that goal against West Ham when he finds Arias. He's got the beating of the defender with the run, and he's intelligent enough to recognise that he's got to pass it behind him. He's not passing it straight along the line because the goalkeeper then get to it. He basically took the goalkeeper out of the equation pretty much with the pass. Then Arias gets a other goal in Old Gold. And how did that come about?
Again, another one. We pick up the ball in like a defensive midfield position. Some great interlocking passes between Hwang and Strand Larsen. And then Arias, again, like we said, just running off the striker. If it's not Hwang, it's Arias. Strand Larsen comes a bit deeper for this one, plays a beautiful reverse pass, and then you can see on this still here that you've got as that pass is played through, there's a massive gap between these two fullbacks. The two defenders get completely sucked in. I think if them two are here, it's a very different outcome. But they get sucked into the midfield due to the interlocking passes through here, creating this triangle between these three midfielders. And then, you see the goal go through, and great finish. Lovely little reverse pass from Strand Larsen, and Arias then goes through and plays a lovely little goal in off the post. Wrong foot's a goalkeeper. Brilliant again. Another striker's instinct.
But it's another one of those that just shows you the fluidity of the way that Wolves play with these players, because we've been, like I said 1,000 times, we've been so disjointed in the midfield. And this goal, again, it comes from the midfield finding those through balls. We've not seen this enough, in my opinion. And okay, like I said, it's against low league opposition.
Yeah.
But the quality still has to be there to be able to find the passes and finish, and all those different things still all have to come into equation.
Yeah.
Probably poor defending from Shrewsbury, but again, it's good play from Wolves.
Brilliant.
The next goal was just before half time.
The next one was theirs, wasn't it?
Yes. So they get a penalty.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk for us through what happened there?
Yeah, it was a weird one for me, that, because I think what looked like another positive move soon turned out to be a danger, because we'd had a couple of chances. Again, we looked on the front foot, but then Hwang picks up the ball. He plays a very, very strange pass, and to me, he's just got the decision wrong. I think, as soon as he looks across that pitch, you've got to indicate on which man you want it to go to. So there's a bit of a discommunication over the far side there. I think that was with Arias and Trachua. So then obviously their fullback then comes, sees that opportunity, absolutely capitalises on it, and so he should. Fair play to him. But then Arias is then backpedaling. Chachua's backpedaling over the outside, and I think it's unfortunately come from Hwang, who was having a great game up until that point. But yeah, Arias brings him down. Questionably whether it's in the box or not, but I think it's just inside, if I'm honest, after seeing a few of the replays. But yeah, one of them. And then the penalty obviously gets tucked away, sends Sam Johnston the wrong way. But yeah, should it have happened? No. Did it affect us? Really? Not really too much. But I think, again, bouncing back from that, it gave Shrewsbury a bit more of a confidence, so we did see him start to kick into
definitely
a bit more of a second gear. So I think we dealt with that really well, as where in previous games, especially in the Premier League, we've seen that, if we score first and then the team scores again, we kind of sit back again.
Yeah.
As where we didn't today. We carried on and we kept forcing forward, and before you know it, it's 3-1.
Yeah.
But
I will say as well, adding on to that, we will talk about the third goal, because that was just before half time. But like you say, Shrewsbury did really start to build confidence, start to change the way they were playing a little bit more. I think they were being a little bit naive in their pressing, before they actually got that goal. And it was really just allowing Wolves just all the time and day. It was reminiscent of us playing United at home because you want to obviously press because the urgency's there to get the ball fast as possible, but it left just holes everywhere, and that's where Wolves capitalised. But after this, what sort of happened was they started not sort of pushing us too much, flooding the midfield a little bit more, finding some areas where they can sort of get between the passes, and Wolves looked really in trouble for a little bit. Thankfully, though, and I did say this on the watch along, their goalkeeper makes an absolute error, awful error, gives it to Strand Larsen on a plate, and he gets his second of the afternoon. But I think if that goal doesn't go in, this game's completely different. I think
massively.
that third goal just killed them off completely.
Yeah.
If that third goal doesn't go in, it's a very different prospect. I honestly, genuinely think we would have started to look a bit shaky.
Yeah.
But thankfully that didn't happen. And I've talked about that one pretty much. That's pretty much exactly what happened, isn't it? Like goalkeeper error, Strand Larsen. And you said it, to be fair, didn't you, Kai, that it was a bit unorthodox how he didn't sort of move forward with the ball to ensure that the ball was going to be in the net.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I played as a striker all my life, and for me, it was just a weird. Like, obviously, at the end of the day, the ball's ended up in the back of the net, so he's not really going to care. But if you look a bit deeper into it, it looks like he panics a little bit.
I think so,
as
yeah.
soon as that ball comes to him, like he takes the first touch, but then the ball kind of gets under his feet on his second touch, which ends up being his shot. So I was a bit like, I don't know.
He easily could have gone wide, couldn't it? The way he took it.
Yeah, I think.
Luckily, it
He's
didn't.
got time to set himself for another touch at least,
Yeah.
and take it maybe slightly wider so the keeper's still travelling.
He also aims for the same side the keeper's gonna get to as well. So he made it a lot more awkward than it needed to be.
Yeah, like I say, the ball's ended up in the back of the net, so you don't care. It's a goal at the end of the day. But when you look at the technique behind it, it's very, very poor technique. But
yeah,
it is what it is. The ball's in the back of the net and it's 3-1.
Yeah, so then we go in at half time and it's 3-1, and I'm honestly so glad that we got that third goal, because if we'd have gone in at 2-1, I think the impetus is on Shrewsbury to make it a really shit game for us.
Yeah.
And basically make it really, really awkward, and that third goal just killed them off. Honestly, that third goal is huge, and the fact that it comes from a goalkeeper's mistake is definitely telling. But yeah, these were the stats for the first half. Some really, really good stats here, as I spoke about earlier. Really, really high possession, but actually doing something with it. That was the expected goals considerably went up in the second half, by the way. But I mean, even in the first half, that's a very good expected goals, considering how poor Wolves have been in front of goal this season. 10 total shots, 3 shots on target, 3 big chances, and basically 3 goals. So taking our chances is very, very good. We were very clinical. It's huge for us. And the major one for me is our passing was infinitely better today. Infinitely better. And you can say that's, we're against poor opposition, but passes is a completely different scenario. Your passing still needs to be, top notch, regardless of who you're playing. And the fact that we managed to string 90% of accurate passes together, that's a huge. That's basically exactly why we won the game, really, is the fact that our passes were strung together so well. The midfield stitched to the attack really well. The defence was able to really nullify Shrewsbury in every attack they made. Yeah, it was just a very all-around good first half. Second half kicks off. I may as well talk about possession a little bit more as well, because it's still here. But look at that expected goals, 2.76. That has gone up a lot. So really, really on Wolves to really not just show a decent showing of themselves from the first half, but push even more. Like, take it to them even more and give them no chance whatsoever. And Wolves haven't done that at all. This season, Wolves have not done that at all. So if we can start to do that in the league a little bit as well, when we've gone ahead, that's gonna give our team a bit more confidence, isn't it? So let's talk about the second half goals then. So the first one is Strand Larsen again.
Yeah.
In the 58th minute.
Yeah. So I mean, up until this point, you can see he wants his hat trick. This was probably my favourite goal of the afternoon.
Yeah.
I think you can see that they're clearly working on pressing triggers in training and what those triggers are and when to unlock them, which I think is so important, because as soon as you see that, if you've got everybody on that same wavelength, things like this can happen. So again, the heart of it, Hwang and Arias, probably more so Arias on this one. He just gets the ball and something in him just seems to switch, which is like, okay, this is my trigger now. I'll go forward. He plays a lovely 1-2 with Hwang. As soon as he does that, you see Strand Larsen. He's constantly looking at what's in front, of what's behind him. As well as scanning the field, which again, clever striker's instinct. But Arias gets the ball, plays a 1-2 with Hwang. You see, as soon as he gets that ball back, Strand Larsen's already started to peel off his defender. Takes a lovely touch to take it past him. Second touch comes again to set himself for the strike. So again, the technique's so much better this time.
Yeah.
And then he just places it into the bottom corner. Brilliant finish. Great work goal. Like I said, my favourite one of the afternoon.
I think that was a more assured finish for sure. Like it was the one where I think the confidence was flowing out from Strand Larsen to a point where he was like, right, I can afford to take a few touches here, and I can afford to really make sure this is the goal. And that completes his hat trick, and fair play to him. He's not been my fan at all. Like this season he's been awful. He's been so bad at winning the ball, showing some effort into winning the football, and to be in the right position, and to just the easy things, not just finishing when he's got it to his feet, but actually getting it to his feet. That's the issue for me.
I think this goes to show though what sort of a player he can be when he's got that confidence about him. Like I said before, he can be such a dangerous player, and he is a mould of the perfect target forward, which is a role that he's now started to revitalise again under Rob Edwards and his coach and staff.
Yeah.
And again, today he needed this so much, and I'm genuinely so happy for him, because I think this will now kick him into another gear, and it's going to start a bit more of a battle now for that starting number 9.
Yeah, definitely.
Between him and Arokadare. So, yeah, fair play to him.
So there's some substitutions behind me now. 60th minute, Rodrigo Gomez comes on, Mateus Mane comes on. And you'd think those two players really, if Wolves were to go down, are two players that keep us with quality. Would you agree? The quality would still be there with those style of players. So this substitution for me, well, all the substitutions pretty much, they were all had massive impact. These are the substitutions that for me are some of the players that should be playing more minutes for Wolves, because these are the players that will probably stick around, because they've probably got a lot more to prove. They've probably got a lot more say in with their agents to say, well, you know what, you go anywhere else, you're probably not going to play as many minutes. So you're probably better off just staying with Wolves, even if they do go down, because, you'll storm that league. You'll look really good. You'll probably you should get Wolves promoted, and that's already an accolade. That's a trophy for yourself as well. So there's all sorts of different things I'm thinking when I'm looking at these style of players. But again, the impetus is on you to make a big impact, because you're changing to players that have been fantastic in that game. And what I was really impressed with, is why I'm going into it a little bit more, is it didn't matter what players came on today. Like, the gulf in class was still there, even though these aren't starting players, which is brilliant to see, because it shows that Rob Edwards has got to this entire team as an ethos. Like, his whole mythology, his methodology is in all of the players. It's not just on the ones that you see day in, day out, which is really, really good to see. So the next goal is Rodrigo Gomez, who we're massive fans of Rodrigo Gomez. We
love him, mate. Yeah, I love him, and again, really happy for him. I think as soon as him and Matheus Mane come onto the pitch, you see Mane first couple of touches, does a couple of step overs, plays that ball into Strand Larsen again, who tries to put a header back across the keeper and makes a great save, to be fair. But again, constantly look to problem, always looking to unlock stuff. Rodrigo Gomez exactly the same, playing out in that wide position, which we know he can do. For me, I think he had a bit of a different role to Chachua when he was out there.
Yeah,
I think he came on and he was a bit more inverted, which we started to see Chachua doing in the second half anyway. Cutting in a little bit, in the first half, it probably was a little bit predictable for Shrewsbury, looking at Chachua going down the outside, putting these little floated crosses in. Rodrigo Gomez just brings a completely different style to that position. Same with Pedro Lima when he came on. You could again see it. Obviously, we didn't see much of Pedro Lima today, but again, we know what he can do from the pre-season under Gary O'Neill. Rodrigo Gomez today, his goal, lovely, deserved it, and that again came from a nice bit of well-worked play actually, because I can't remember who it was. I'm just trying to find it. Bear with me. It was there, wasn't it? Who was that? Fer Lopez, of course it was. So Fer Lopez finds a ball, has a great little run towards the edge of the box, fires a shot in, which cannons off the post. Arokadare is watching his line the whole time, ready to pounce. But again, you're seeing this still here. Let's have a look. You're seeing this still here. As soon as that shot comes in, oh no, that's still me. There we are. Yeah, we go. So as soon as that still comes in from here, it cannons off the post, and you've got 1, 2, 3 Wolves players all ready to react behind these 3. That's still Shrewsbury's defence. But again, they're sucked out because of this. So we actually go back a frame. Where are we? Let's have a look. So go back just to where that shot gets released. Bear with me. There. So again, you can see this back line from Shrewsbury. Bang, 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 bang. They look like now they're in a back 5 here. But look at how many Wolves players are forwards, ready again to pounce. This is already a problem for Shrewsbury, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 5, and you've still got 3 Shrewsbury players backpedaling. These 2 aren't even in the game. So it's 6v6 in this final third. But all the Wolves players are on the right side. They're hungry, and as soon as that shot comes in, you see Arokadare there, looking at the ball, looking at the ball, looking at the ball, looking at the ball, and they're ready. The ball gets played there. Arokadare plays it in, goal. So again, another lovely breakdown in play, but it just goes to show the football IQ behind Wolves this afternoon. Like, we were ready for everything, and we looked hungry from minute 1 to minute 90.
And the Arokadare's done a lot really there, because when it's ricocheted off the post, it's hit the post with a bit of velocity, and the way he's taking it on his stride to be like, right, bam, kills the ball dead, looks up, it's not thinking instantly, right, I've got to hit it. He's like, no, I'm in a shit situation here. I'm nowhere near gonna hit the goal from here. So he's like, right, who's there? And then Rodrigo Gomez, who, let's be honest, Rodrigo Gomez is a goal scorer for Wolves. He has actually scored quite a lot of goals for Wolves. And if you ever watch him, He's the one bloke who is always in a sort of poaching area.
Yeah. And
Which,
this is a prime example of it. You know, you see that ball get cannon off the post, but even before, when Fer Lopez takes that shot, he's ready for the rebounds. And this is so important as a striker, even right down at grassroots level. When you're a kid, this is what you've got to be ready for. I scored so many goals when I was younger from positions like that because you get lucky sometimes. You know, the keeper fumbles it, or it comes off the post in this instance. You know, your player next to you, you've got that trust in him to ready to be there as well. And I think when you've got so many men forward, you're outweighing chances. Do you know what I mean? The law of averages is with you. One of your men is going to get there, and you've just got to stay on side. That's all you've got to do. As soon as that ball comes to a Rockadare, he could shoot first time, but he doesn't. He's patient. He waits. Rodrigo Gomez is there. He's calling for it. Yes. Receives the ball on his back foot. With the next touch, he fires it into the back of the net. It's brilliant.
And then the other final goal comes from Arakadare, and we've got to talk about Mateus Marne, man, because this guy, this guy's been incredible every game, right? He comes on after Wolves have probably put their best home performance. Well, they have easily put their best home performances on this season, but comes on and honestly, the level of confidence is one thing, but the ability of this kid is unreal. Like, we might be getting excited because he's in a poor Wolves team who's done bad all season, and we needed someone to show some quality. But we're witnessing something now that isn't a fluke. Like, this kid has a bit of everything. He's got everything. Like, he's scoring goals, and he could have scored again today, forced a good save at one point. But the one thing that surprised me is this one pass that causes it just deletes their defence. It literally, in one pass, they are just shitting themselves. Yep. Because, you know, Molineux does really, really well to get into a good position where he can run and hurt them. The ball has to be perfect.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. You hit it too hard, it goes out for a goal kick. You hit it too soft, and then it's basically in Shrewsbury's possession again. He hits it with the outside of his foot. It curls around the run. It's just unbelievable. It curls around the run of Molineux, who's got the easiest job in the world at that point, because the defence is gone. In one pass, that Molineux is through, and he's probably thinking, what the fuck? He's got it with...
You look at why this goal goes in. I've got the still up again here.
Yeah, go for it, show us.
You've got it up again, and you can see why. Look how compact and narrow this Shrewsbury team is.
Yeah.
That is nearly their whole team behind the ball there.
Yeah.
There is no way that this should be a goal.
No.
From Shrewsbury, this is really, really poor.
But the quality of the pass...
This is what I'm saying.
Splits any team. It splits any team.
So the ball's here, right? You see Mateus Marne looking forward again, looking forward. Mateus Marne's actually got a few options here. He can play here.
Yeah.
To go here.
Yeah.
He can look into a Rockadare's feet to then play Molineux through.
Yeah.
To then come out with the same sort of outcome where you've got Rodrigo Gomez running into the back post, but that does actually take a Rockadare out the game unless he's quick enough then to hold a position somewhere around the edge of the box.
Yeah.
But this pass, right there, that is absolutely second to none.
It's world class because it's almost one of those.
At this Shrewsbury defence,
yeah.
They're not behind the ball.
No.
They have to react. And yes, it's a good team goal. Yes, the pass is unexpected, and you don't see that in League Two. However, you can't be there. You have to be goal side of your man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Rodrigo Gomez or Arakadare's got to tap in there. And that comes from one pass, doesn't it? Those chances, I mean, it's like a dream. It's like, oh god, okay, I've literally just got to tap it in. Brilliant. I just run out of good things to say about him, to be honest. I can't believe Vitor Pereira had this kid training. By the way, early doors, he was training with Wolves, and just didn't use him when we were lacking so much quality. And he must have been seeing this level of quality is there all the time from him. I've not even when I've watched the under-21s, he is just a phenomenal player with the ball at his feet. He can do anything. He can do absolutely anything. You know,
he's got so much potential, hasn't he?
And okay, he might not be a Wolves player, you know, for a very long time, because he's obviously better than Wolves at this current juncture. But we could build something really special around him with the ability of his passing range. You could play him in the midfield. You wouldn't even need to use him in his traditional position. You could literally just play him in that role that he's got from Wolves.
Yeah, to be fair, I think if João Gomez does end up leaving, I think we will see Matheus Mane in that midfield.
Yeah,
doing a similar sort of job.
Yeah,
because he's not scared. Like,
no,
he's not scared of anything. He said it himself. He's not scared of anything.
No,
and that is so refreshing to hear, especially as a fan.
It's rare in in the circumstances that we're in at the moment. I don't know a single player who I'd find that much confidence and flair currently at the moment in the Premier League that I'd be like, right, every single time he's going to come on the pitch for Wolves, by the way, I'm talking about, and be able to perform like that. I don't know a single player. No, like literally, there'd probably be a load of Premier League players that would be able to, but under the circumstances in this Wolves team, I'm not so sure. I like for example, if Cunha came out of the cold and didn't get sold to United, I don't think even Cunha is able to deliver some of the things we're seeing from Matheus Mane at the moment. I just don't, because
I think they're quite a similar sort of player when they're in that position. You know, it's almost like an 8 to 10 hybrid. As where Cunha was probably a bit more of a 10 than Mane. I think Mane's got a bit of, bit more defensive mind about him, but he's so attack minded.
Oh, like, yeah, he's unbelievable.
He's hungrier than Cunha, I think. I think Cunha, he'd work back, but he'd also wait. He'd wait in a position, as where Mane will create the position for himself.
Yeah.
Which, that's one thing I absolutely love about him.
So
he'll create something out of nothing, which is so refreshing.
Let's talk about player scores. Let's talk individual player scores.
Yeah.
Let's get me out the way again. Right, so Sam Johnston, for you, what are you thinking?
Again, yeah, 6.5 rating. He's not really had a lot to do all afternoon, to be honest. I think when he's been needed, he's been fine. So I can understand the 6.5 rating. Like, how many saves did he actually have to make? Not many.
Decent with his feet when the ball came to him.
In fact, I've just clicked on it. He's had to make no saves all afternoon.
Yeah.
And the only goal that went in was that penalty. So he's not had to do a lot.
Which is 50-50, let's be honest.
And again, he's not really had the ball at his feet because of the mentality behind Wolves this afternoon. He's not had the ball. As soon as we've had it across that back three, it's what I was saying on the watch along. As soon as we've had that ball across that back three, it's like we've looked forward. I think he's made 4 or 5 passes, maybe.
Yeah.
What we got here? He's had 23 touches of the ball all afternoon,
Yeah.
and he's
You can't.
thrown the ball 3 times.
You can't really rate him, then, can we?
That's
Right.
what I
Okay.
mean. Yeah.
Moving on. Santi Bueno.
Santi Bueno again played centrally in that back three. Brilliant all-round performance. I think he looked pretty solid. 97% pass accuracy for the bloke. You know, that's impressive. Out of 86 passes, 83 of them made their target. So again, exactly what you need from a central centre back. And again, played the simple game.
Yeah.
And that's what you need from him. He made a lovely goal line clearance. This was probably the highlight for me in his game. A goal line clearance, but it was the touch before that as well. Shrewsbury got themselves into quite a nice attacking position. And then try and play the ball across. Santi Bueno then slides, puts the touch back behind another opposing Shrewsbury player, and then gets up, knows that ball's coming back in at some point, gets himself back on the goal line and clears it again. So, yeah, brilliant, great intelligence. Again, played the simple ball, looking for Doherty, looking for Krejci, and that's all you need for a playing out defender. Just pass it, play the simple game, fair play.
Nice. I'll go for Krejci. I think Krejci was one of those players today that was one of those where you're just thinking, the golfing quality was there to see for a lot of players, but I think in particular Krejci, I mean, some of his footwork just took out some of their players completely out of the game. Like he's essentially deleting players with touches on the ball, which is just madness from a defending point of view. But then so much of what he does, especially in this game, but I've noticed it in the Premier League as well, the midfield's looking for him to collect the ball because they know the next pass is reaching them. The next pass is going through that press, whatever team is, going through that press, is meeting the midfield, it's stitching them together, and then the attack's on then. And that Krejci is pretty much key to 9 times out of 10 every pushing, pressing move, really. So, yeah, fantastic. And then Doherty for you?
Yeah, again, Matt Doherty, probably slightly more defensive than Krejci. But again, 94% pass accuracy. I've just looked at what Krejci is. He's another 93. So you've got Santi Bueno, Krejci and Doherty all plus 90 with the pass accuracy, which again is something they've clearly worked on in training.
It killed Shrewsbury as well, because that was like the one thing that they were half decent at, really, was that press.
Yeah.
But the passing
you can see, though,
was just
they're at
unbelievable.
the heart of these transitions.
Yeah.
And this, again, is a credit to Rob and his staff, because that we didn't see at the start of the season.
No.
You know, it was more of a back five, but now they've got license to be a back three. Like I was saying on the watch along, with the wing backs so high. Again, basically midfielders.
Yeah,
it is more of a 3-5-2 than it is a 5-3-2. But you know, you got your wing backs doing that all game. But yeah, Doherty again, simple game, does a couple of little runs, tries a few long balls. Don't mind it. It's again the simple game, and that is all you need from those 3 centre backs. So credit to them, they've done exactly what they needed to do today, and I think them ratings are fair.
Yeah, Molineux, I thought that he was really, really good, especially in the first half. I think he came alive even more in the second half. If I remember right now, I feel like all of Wolves came alive in that second half, but they just couldn't handle the width, could they? Shrewsbury, they were getting stretched out of position to a point. It was just it looked really quite poor. But you still have to, in those areas, do something with the ball. And I feel like Molineux, out of him and Jackson, probably had the better game. Did manage to get an assist. So that obviously already proves that that's the case. But his run's really intelligent. I think he's really intelligent on holding his run. I don't think Jackson is quite as intelligent at that. I think he caught offside a few times in this game. Jackson obviously can utilise his pace, but yeah, I just think sometimes there's more in Jackson, and I feel like he just doesn't have the as much. I don't think he's got as much confidence as Molineux, which is weird because he's probably had more game time than Molineux.
Yeah, I think when you're playing wing backs, you have to play to their strengths, and I think again this afternoon, I think we did that really, really well.
Mm,
You could see Chachua and Molavolfa trying to go down the outsides a lot,
mm,
which again in the first half was brilliant because it was catching Shrewsbury out and it was stretching their defence, which again was creating space in the midfield for your likes of Strand Larsen, Wang, and Arias.
mm.
So second half, when you've got Rodrigo Gomez coming on and Pedro Lima coming on, and they're a bit more inverted, you can see the middle in front start to get a little bit more congested as well.
Yeah.
So I think again credit to them both because again stats wise they're on their side. You know,
Mm,
Molavolfa's an 8.2 rating, Jackson Chachua 7.1. I'd probably give him a little bit more than that if I'm honest,
mm.
because I know there's a couple of people in the chat saying, "Oh, you know, Chachua's had a poor game," but I disagree because I think he's had a certain instruction today, and he's delivered.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
Yeah.
you know, he was taking on Clucas
Mm,
time after time, and Clucas, to be fair, for Shrewsbury had an absolute torrid time with him at times. And again, like you said, he utilises that pace. He gets past his man, plays a little dink ball in, and he aims for Strand Larsen
mm.
and Tolua Rokodari every time. So I think that's his role.
Yeah.
It's very similar to what Traore used to do when Jimenez was there. He beat his man, play a little dink ball in, and Jimenez every time was on the other end of it.
Mm,
So I think that is his mould. I think that's the style of player that Chachua is. And I think it works for him.
mm. John Arias, I thought he was probably if I thought he was going to get man of the match really, other than the fact that Strand Larsen got the third goal to make it a hat trick. I think that kind of like made it so that he kind of had to have it really. But I thought Arias's whole game today was like I said in the watch along. I don't often say someone's unplayable when it comes to Wolves. I always just used to think probably Traore used to be a player that was an unplayable player. Like Pep Guardiola said it a lot of times about Traore. I think if Arias performed like this in the league, he would be an unplayable player because against a team where Wolves can show a little bit more about them, he's a fantastic addition. The trouble is this season, Wolves haven't had that luxury. And he is exactly that. He's a luxury player. When you've got the ball, I reckon in a Man City side or a side that always has the ball, he would be unreal. And you can start to see now why he's worth as much as he is and what have you. It's just because Wolves haven't had the luxury of having a side like Shrewsbury to play so that you can see his entire game. But in this game, like I said, I'm going to repeat it because it bears repeating. He was unplayable today. Literally, the positions he was getting into, the way he was winning the ball back when he'd lost the ball, the passes was just some of the passes were unbelievable. The interplay between players, his positioning for the goal. I mean, he was just unplayable for me. 9 out of 10. 9 out of
Yeah,
10.
yeah, I'd agree with you there. I think Arias today showed us actually what he can do and what he can be like. I think when you talk about midfield balance, you're exactly right. That midfield balance today was very near perfect. You've got Andre in that six, which again because Andre's in that 6 and he's so deep, it gives you wing backs license. I know I keep talking about it. It gives your wing backs license to push forward and be a 5 in that midfield, because you've still got a back 4 there if you lose the ball. So your wing backs don't necessarily need to come back as quick with Andre in that role.
Yeah.
But then you've got Arias the one side, you've got Joao Gomez the other side, who's playing box to box. Arias was pretty box to box today. I'd say more of a 10.
I think
but
so.
again,
Yeah.
He's in that.
I think him and
10 role.
Yeah, I think him and Huang, like I was saying at the start, I think him and Huang basically changed sides as a 10, but then sort of made the midfield 5 in the initial transition.
Well, this is it. Like when we're talking about the balance up front, you've got Strand Larsen as that focal point up front, and you've got Huang and Arias supported in behind, which again creates a really nice compact front three. And today was a great showcase of what that 3-5-2 should look like.
Yeah,
it was a brilliant showcase of it, because you look at that performance and some of the transitions and the movements and what we did with the ball, but then you look at what we did without the ball and how the organisation starts to look and what the tactical prowess behind it looks like. And again, today was a near perfect performance. I loved it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you've talked a little bit about Andre there. Joao Gomez, he's got a fairly low rating in comparison to the other Wolves players, according to FOTMob. I don't agree with it in the sense that he didn't get an assist, he didn't get a goal, but I'd say he was probably on par with Andre, to be honest. I think maybe he was a little bit leggy, and obviously that's why he went off after a certain amount of time. But I don't think in particular he was bad for us today. I just feel like in between Arias and where Huang was picking up the ball, it was one of those games really in which it didn't really need to play.
I think I agree. I don't think a 6.8 rating is fair for Joao Gomez. I think he's at least a 7.2, at least. Because, yes, okay, he's only played 61 minutes of the game, but he only needed to.
Yeah. The game was done. The game was done then
he
anyway.
Shine, but he didn't look bad either.
No.
And I think 6.8 rating, you kind of look at that and go, nah, he deserves more than that, because that midfield 3, the balance wouldn't have been the same without him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That midfield 3 wouldn't have operated the way it did without him. So Andre wouldn't have got the 7.9 rating. Arias wouldn't have got an 8.8 rating if it wasn't for Joao Gomez. So I think that's really harsh on Joao Gomez, and probably looking at all of those ratings, the one I disagree with the most, actually.
Yeah, same. So we'll talk about Strand Larsen. He needed the goals today. He needed the confidence. He needed minutes. I mean, that's the main thing. He needed minutes. He starts out, last 74 minutes on the pitch today. And from minute 1, you saw a little bit more about him than what we've seen in the season. And I mean, that's not really hard, though, to be honest. Like, just getting a goal was enough. But he huffed and puffed today. Managed to get 3 goals, which is always a bloody great thing, isn't it? Managed to get an assist as well. So he's in about there, starting to make things happen, which is good. You've kind of convinced me a little bit of something around his positioning that he gets very guilty of, where he doesn't attack or like every pass. He doesn't really seem to show. It comes across a little bit lazy. But what you're saying, Kai, is that's almost like an instruction in that he needs to be a little bit more stubborn about his positioning and kind
I
of.
think so. Yeah, I think you've got a big presence. You look at Haaland, for instance. How much movement does he actually do?
Barely
Yes,
any.
okay, he's explosive, he's powerful, he's he's everywhere in the box. But Strand Larsen's kind of the same
Mm.
because he's so immobile in and around the defensive third and the midfield third. It gives him license to be a nuisance in the attacking third,
Mm.
which I think again today he's done really, really well. And I do think it has to be an instruction. As a manager myself,
Mm.
that's the exact instruction as what I would give to him as well, because he's such a big presence. He's strong. He's not slow.
Mm.
He knows where the net is. He's great at heading the ball. You just need to pin those centre backs. So if you're doing that and you're doing it without moving, your job's a good one, mate.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Because
Mm.
you've got the likes of Arias, you've got the likes of Hwang who will do the running for you. We saw that today from when they were on the pitch to when they got subbed off. They were constantly running around him. And I
Mm.
think if you've got Strand Larsen also running, it just you've got no focal point then.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to be that man you can hit with those midfield passes and again be that final link. He stays up there, pins the centre backs, holds them off because he's strong, he's a big presence, and then he can play Arias in, he can play Hwang in, he can drop it off to Joao Gomez, who's looking forward because he's box to box. He can even go back or play it wide, but he's got so many options there. If he's just that big presence to hold the ball up and look into those gaps,
It definitely a
so I think
game where he grew into it. It definitely a
massively,
game where he grew into the game. I just.
massively. But again, I think that comes from a confidence from early on, and when he gets that goal, very clever finish, and again, he's in the right place at the right time.
Mm.
He pins his man. He's constantly the right side of him as a striker, and yeah, he gets his goal early on, and I think today the first four goals he's he's had a massive influence in all of them. You know, he scores three of them, he assists the other one,
Mm.
and his all-round game today was just perfect.
Mm.
And that 9.8 rating could easily be a 10 today.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like, I've been especially hard on Strand Larsen, but I do think it's within good reason. He needs to, he's the most paid player. He's the biggest paid player in the Wolves side, and he's not getting a starting position. So that shows everything you need to see and you need to hear.
I think
But
a lot of the frustration behind Strand Larsen is because we saw last season what he can do.
mm,
We're like, where's that gone?
yeah, and a
And
lot of
this is
that,
why I
and
talk so heavily about
a lot of
confidence
that
because
does come to the fact that we had the likes of Cunha, Ait Nouri to be
this is
able
it.
to give him the ball. But I will say as well, he does need to do a lot more in the league in terms
Yeah,
of in terms of being an available presence.
mm.
And I feel like Tolu has just done that better than him since
Yeah,
Tolu's come into it.
I do agree. And I think when you get another striker, I've been in this position myself as a player. You you look at everything else, you go, okay, is this bloke going to take my spot? Is he performing better than me in training? Is he has he got a better, connection with a manager? Is he better at linking play than me? And you start to have all these questions about yourself. So today, this is why I talk so heavily about confidence because he needed that today.
Mm.
And he needed to go, well, actually, I'm starting. Yes, I'm playing a lower league side, but I need nothing less than a hat trick today.
Mm.
And if I can get an assist to go with it, I can walk off the pitch happy. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he did. To be fair, cool. Last player we're going to talk about, Hwang Yi-chan. Gets a lot of stick, and rightly so. Had a lot of stick, to be fair. From me and pretty much anyone who supports Wolves, pretty much. it's there's a frustration because we've seen what he's capable of in his purple patches for the club. I mean, at one point he was scoring every single time he played at Molineux. You know, he's scored really important goals that, you know, that kept us up in a couple of the seasons, but he just went off for a very, very, very long time, became a bit of a bench warmer, and over the last few games, similar to Arias, been played a bit further back, been played with more of a license to make those runs that we've seen, you know, against Shrewsbury today and West Ham, where he doesn't have to do too much of the hard work. He just has to be in the right place. And I do think that plays into Hwang's favour a little bit better than what he's been asked of him. Because I feel like what's been asked of Hwang is to be like, right, you're basically the one guy that we know can score goals. We've seen it, you know. So just get the ball at feet and do everything. And he's just not that kind of player. He just hasn't got that tool set. But if you...
Hwang's a difficult one for me because I look at him and I can see why the managers pick him. Oh, hang on. Sorry.
Don't stress.
Yeah, I can see why the managers pick him because he does work hard.
Yeah.
But looking at these stats now, they don't surprise me. Like the accuracy of his passes, 82%. But he only attempted 38 passes. Completes 31 of them. One of them that he didn't complete, bearing in mind, led to their goal.
Yeah, that was probably the worst part about it, wasn't it?
Hwang's such a frustrating player for me because I feel like he's a very, very good championship player. And I think he'd be at the top of his game in the championship. And bear in mind, feel free to disagree because everyone's got mixed opinions.
Oh yeah.
Does he fit the team? Is he good enough to be, you know, all these questions? I mean, he's 29 years old, right? Is it enough? Do we ever see enough from Hwang? And again, today, he was short of that for me. Yes, he had involvement in a lot of the goals. Yes, he's got to be in the right position to do that. But that's something he's learnt in training. And again, credit to Rob and the staff because you can see they're working on these transitions. You can see they're working on these passing patterns.
Yeah.
Where they are linking these little triangles in order to exploit, you know, left, right, and centre. But you look at it, successful dribbles, none. Accurate crosses, none. Tackles, 2. Recoveries, 3. He's been dribbled past. Ground duels, 1. 3 of 5. Aerial duels, 1, none. So, 49 touches.
Yeah.
Touches in the opposition box, only 3.
I see what you mean.
Like a lot of the play is around the edge of the box for Hwang. I don't get that. But again, accurate passes. He's only attempted to pass 38 times. For me, as that link-up player, you've got to be getting 45, 50 plus. You've got to make yourself available a little bit more. And yes, Hwang does a lot of the running.
Yeah.
But for me, it's empty running. What I call empty running, like running where you're emptying your tank. Like you're running to make yourself look busy, where actually you can use a bit more of your football IQ.
Yeah.
And kind of save a bit of that energy and put it into something a bit more, you know, valuable to the team, if you like.
Yeah, let's talk about some interesting things here that I've just brought up.
Yeah, go on.
Let's get rid of me a sec. So we'll go off Hwang. We'll talk about Tolu. He comes on in 16 minutes, Kai. He gets a goal and an assist.
Yeah.
So
For me, that type of player he is. I
that's
think
very
he's
good, isn't
such a
it?
handful. It's brilliant. And again, today was the perfect game for a big number 9.
Yeah.
Because Shrewsbury couldn't match it all game. They couldn't match it with Strand Larsen. They couldn't match it with Tolu Arokadari when he came on. Like you say, 16 minutes, a goal and an assist. It's second to none, that is. Accurate passes, 5 out of 5. Bearing in mind, one of them's an assist.
Yeah.
Right? He creates a chance. His expected goals in 16 minutes is 1.48.
Which is that's mad. That's mad stats, really.
Shots on target, 1. The goal.
And he has been that player that's had impact, hasn't he? Do you not
This is
think?
it. Yeah. Oh, massively. I think for sure. Absolutely. You know, but like you say, he's played 16 minutes today. 6 touches of the ball.
Yeah.
2 of them were in the box.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
not really many more stats to go off, but you talk about that. That's impressive for 16 minutes of football.
oh yeah.
Bear in mind, you come onto the pitch. You've only seen what that game feels like, if you like.
Yeah.
You don't actually know what it feels like to be a part of that game until you come on. So in 16 minutes, he's adjusted to the game. He's got himself a goal, got himself an assist, and been a handful.
Yeah.
He could have had another goal,
Yeah.
but he
could.
missed the ball.
Yeah. And that was before he scored as well.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But,
So, Rodrigo Gomez, great to have him back. I thought we'd talk about it because he did get a goal, which is really good.
Yep.
He's just one of those players that very positive. Like the way he gets forward, he's always running. Creates 2 chances. You know, another player that was only on for 30 minutes, but
yeah.
I mean, he's more of a defensive player in terms of where you want him on the pitch.
Do you think so?
In terms of where you want him on the pitch, in terms of like me comparing him to Tolu, who we just talked about, he's more defensive, isn't he? But he's a very attacking defensive player.
I think. I don't know, you know.
Oh yeah, he's more of like
I was
gonna say he's more he's more of like a wide winger, isn't he?
Yeah, I think with Rodrigo Gomez, I think he could actually adjust to that position what Arias was playing in today.
Yeah.
And it's probably a bit of a hot take, to be honest, because we've seen him wide so many times. But I actually think him or Fer Lopez in that position, creating chances, running off the striker, being a bit of a nuisance. Rodrigo Gomez he's a very, very clever player.
Oh yeah.
He's 22 years old, so he's got all his game to develop. Like, he's already ahead of a lot of 22-year-olds at his age, because he's just such a smart player, and it's so good to see him back today, getting a good amount of minutes in his legs. I think Rob Edwards actually made that sub at the perfect time, because it gave him time to adjust into the game.
Well, it's
17 passes, 16 of them completed, 2 chances created, scored himself. Did score himself a goal. Again, had himself a couple of shots. Again, brilliant. It's great to see him back.
Talked about Matthias Mane. Good to see Pedro Lima back. Didn't really get much impact. He came on the 84th minute, but good to see him get some minutes. Looked pretty positive, where very much reminds me a lot of Hugo Bueno, the way he plays, in the fact that he'll pick up the ball and the first thing he's thinking really is, right, how can I get up the pitch? So again, very attacking-minded defender. That's the thing about Wolves, that we've got this very attack-minded team, and we've just not seen it. And I think that's been the frustration from fans. Fer Lopez, another attack-minded midfielder, basically a cam, pretty much.
Yeah.
Manages to get a really good shot on the post. Really good balls through the line as well. We've seen that all season. I think personally, Fer Lopez should have got more minutes this season, to be honest.
I like him. I think he's a good prospect. Obviously, we don't see these players in training,
Mm.
so you can argue both cases, can't you?
Mm.
You know, I would like to see more of him as a fan.
Mm. But
Has he created too much since he's been on the pitch? Okay, he's been a nuisance. He's been a handful. He puts himself around. You expect that from a 21-year-old. You know,
mm.
loads of energy. Completely different to having a 28-year-old in Arias on the pitch. You know, but again, you ask him to fit a mould, and I think he does it.
Mm. Cool. Well, we've talked about all the Wolves players. We've gone extensively into facts and stats and all that sort of stuff, guys. I thought we'd make this a bit of a longer one. I mean, we've got more to talk about. That's one thing. So we have gone over an hour, but we'll call this more of like a podcast anyway, because that's what we normally do for my reviews. And that's what we're all about, really. I know a lot of people will probably look at an hour and go, oh my God, you want us to talk about a game for an hour? But it really is just genuinely just like a podcast, like you've seen from the other channels and what have you. We just get ours out sooner, really, just as soon as I can, as a review sort of thing. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was really good to sort of break down a very, very good Wolves performance. You know, breaking down why we were so good, and we got 6 goals, and the only mistake really was the penalty, and we still carried on from that. So just an all-around perfect performance today. My man of the match is probably going to have to be Strand Larsen, but if I wasn't going to pick Strand Larsen, I would have given it to Arias today. I thought he was just the perfect player, the perfect.
I'll agree with you there, mate.
Yeah, I just think he was everywhere. I just think he was one of those players, unplayable. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Check us out on all social media at Wolfpack WWFC. We're going to be doing some more videos as we go. Be cool to get you more on here, to be fair, Kai, with the both watch along and reviews, because I'm not going to the Molineux anytime this till Fosun have gone.
Well, mate, I enjoy it. You know me. It's just I have to be careful. Obviously, working at Wolves, I have to be careful what I say, how I say it. Breaking things down tactically, though, mate. You know that's my forte. I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm such a football nerd when it comes to like tactical analysis and stuff like that. So, mate, I'm down for it. If I've watched the game, or we do a watch along, then we'll get straight on the review straight after. I'm down for that 100%.
Cool. All right, you heard it here. You can't go back on it now. It's on the internet.
That's it. I'm locked in.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that. And see you later.
Pass.